It's been a while since I did a video, huh? We've got this area filled. All the joists are taped. We're gonna do a double picture frame here, which means we're gonna have 2 whole courses that go all the way around and follow the profile. Here, I'll go right up there. Stairs are, I don't want to call it done, but really close. They've actually been kerfed. So we did a kerf on each of them. And I'll show you the little LED light stuff that packs in underneath there, so those will have light. The stairs will be edge lit. And we pulled our string here on our double joist, which was placed here, and there's one down here somewhere. Anyway, in anticipation of the seam. Once again, so the ends of the boards get a round over, or a fillet, and we can always see the string through the gap. So as everything dries, they're neither end to end tightly holding this crap in there to rot, and they're not on top of a shelf under there where that stuff can sit and stay. So that the most vulnerable point, this end, imagine your stick of wood is a group of straws. The ends of the straws aren't trying to suck up any moisture any more than they normally would, which is a key component of my construction techniques. This is where we headed that joist off. But you'll notice there's also 1/2-inch plastic conduit so that we can have some surface mount outlets out here. And we've got baluster. This is again all the blocking to catch ends of the filler boards, because they come over and they're going to come over and stop and hang in space more than they're really capable of here. We've got to have this blocking to carry the picture frame, but we needed something in here to hold the ends of the boards up, because you don't want to be at the end of those and then have them just springy. But we've got a notch in all the inside surfaces. It's a pre-notch, all the same depth. And then these pieces of hog wire, we're calling it, but it's like feed line panel. These are going down in there. However, we have to go to the nearest full square so that the edges have a vertical, so that the edges, we didn't want just the raw ends, we wanted a complete vertical side. Which not only does it slide, but it controls, gives these strength. So these will each be grooved deep enough to allow each piece to go in there far enough. And these have been, have already been in there. We'll probably install the lower piece. All this is going to go out to be sandblasted, the galvanizing, because it's been out in the weather too long. And then a primer and a powder coat. This is the issue with the galvanized. It's perfect everywhere, but in these little spots where it's not. And you don't want to just powder coat that because it'll come back. Here's another one here. Right, so some people just leave this in place as it is, but making it black will actually make it much easier to see through, which is the whole goal here, is that it's there but it's not there, and it's aesthetic as well. So anyway, those we'll get everybody to a point where the bottom rail is in, and these will probably get toe nailed with some trim head screws, and then that stuff will go out for powder coat, come back, slide in place. It'll be capped with the corresponding piece, the cap piece here. And then the top of this entire thing gets 2x8. It's like a cocktail ledge, so it hangs off of both sides of the 6x6, and it's almost like a bar. It's almost wide enough to, let's go look at that stuff. So it's plenty for like a plate of food, for birthday parties, stuff like that. And we had to go get some beautiful specimens here, because again, decks are funny because it's a finish grade application done with softwood. So my mindset is always fewer knots the better. Knots denote softwood, and softwood denotes millwork, not finished quality. So we've been pushing all this ugly smeary knot stuff off to the side, and we've been because it looks to me like, that's why we got 2 units of lumber here, because I knew we would only use about half of what's in them, and we'd want to discard the other half of it for reasons of quality. So as you can see here, the top boards, they look perfect, don't they? Beautiful, #1 pine, and they're good 3 or 4 layers, maybe 5 or 6 down. And the bottom half, and I'm sure it was intentional, is what I would call #2 quality. And so between the 2 of them, I think we'll use all the #1 quality, and then we'll use the very best of the #2 just to finish up. And it's just how it goes right now. In the past, you could count on the whole unit being #1 quality, but and they sell it and call it #1 quality, but they're squeezing everybody a little bit, pinching pennies, You know, so this here would be a number 2 quality in my book, but totally usable because for the most part he's pretty clear. And then we get into stuff that's just on the left there. It's just not as good in my opinion. So anyway, the outlets we're going to use are these here. Pretty cool. They give you a it's a flush mount. It's like a pill shape, and then it flips up and you can plug in your outlets. And I'm gonna place this aesthetically, you know, balanced on a board or in between two, in the locations that he wants. And then I'll come back and I'll cut in the conduit body, this stuff here, you know, into a straight run of conduit under there from below. I'll cut in the conduit body, you know, take out 3 inches or whatever, and it's flexible, which makes it nice. And you can slip this into place. Then you can run over to a junction box, and then out the junction box you can go to, I thought I had it in here. This is what they give you, to solvent weld piece of conduit to a threaded, this is like an adapter, this gray piece here. You guys familiar with threading? That's how it works. It's threaded, and then this here comes with those outlets, and that's because it comes with circular wire, and you run it through that hole, and then as you tighten this nut, it squeezes it like a ferrule. There's no ferrule in there. It squeezes it, the plastic just squeezes that circular wire enough to bite into it and hold it, and then that's a flexible whip that goes to that outlet itself. So this here will be part and parcel of the junction box on the conduit where I cut it in, and then we'll take the 2 feet of flexible circular wire and make sure that we can get to the outlet itself, which is I think it's gonna be pretty cool. And then this stuff here is what he bought for the edges of the stair. And once again, I wish I had more than one hand here. Hang on, I promise I'm coming back. I'm gonna cut this out of the video. Huh. Okay. Here it is. So it comes with this loose wire, but the stuff itself, once it's lighting up, has been designed to go into a kerf, or the gap left after a saw cut. So I believe it's like kind of a, yeah, you know, it's kind of square and flexible like that, and it packs in there real nice. And then the lit side is the other side of it. Where is it? Yeah, you see the lights in there on the one side. So those face down, the edge of them. Anyway, I think it's going to look rad. He'll have power in 4 different locations around the edge on the surface of the deck, and both staircases will have edge lighting. And then it'll just be a question of where we put a switch for that, which I think he'll want it inside the door, inside the patio door that goes out on the deck, but I'm not sure. Anyway, and then we've got a bunch of lumber returns. We've got a clapboard that we can make the clapboard repair to where the, you know, dryer vent used to come out. And then we'll be down to waiting on that stuff there to come back from the powder coater before we can finish the railing system. But it's been raining, it's been wet. We've been getting here whenever we can. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you.